A group of strangers in masks has tied up a man in the woods. One of them, with the axe, instantly strikes him to death as the other two finish him off totally. His fiancée, Maya, wakes up at the hospital. She has survived the attackers, and as the doctor tells her that her fiancé has died, she bursts into tears. Meanwhile, the town sheriff arrives with his officer to hear from her about the incident. She remembers the scenario, being tied up. A woman came to their door asking for someone named Tamara. The cops don't question her much and leave. They reach the diner, where a woman approaches them, concerned about the case. From afar, Shelley, the waitress, is listening to them. She has a flashback of her childhood, playing in a park alone. She likes a boy, while a group of girls steps over her sandcastle and leaves. Among them is one who shares a look with her. The night has fallen, and Maya is lying alone on the hospital bed. She remembers her night with her lover. Soon, Nurse Danica enters and gives her meds. Maya asks her if she knows Tamara, but Danica says it is merely a ghost story people talk about. She asks her not to think of it too much and leaves. Maya dreams of sleeping next to her partner when suddenly he turns into the masked stranger. She wakes up with a shudder and her phone vibrates. Her sister has sent her a message. She writes that she's coming to pick her up from there by the next day. Suddenly, she gets a call and she thinks it's her sister, but from the other end, someone asks for Tamara. She hangs up and hears the voice of security. They're asking someone to back off, and in a fearful voice, run. Soon, bangs are heard. Maya gets up from the bed and quietly reaches the door. She gets out and all around it's empty. She tiptoes to the exit and runs to get out, but it's locked. Suddenly, the lights are turned off and the emergency lights are turned on. She sees that her phone signal is gone as well. She quietly starts walking through the hospital, and soon the killer moves the curtain from the corridor. She ducks and runs into one of the rooms. She pulls the curtains around every bed to distract the stranger. Once the man walks in and starts to look through the curtains, she is hidden in the washroom. She runs, and he chases her. She enters the corridor and runs the long way. She reaches up to the small elevator. She gets in, presses the key, and pulls the shutter down, and just then, one of the other two has also reached there. She bangs on the grill, but the lifts get down. She safely exits and quietly walks on again through the shallow way. However, soon, in front of her, appears the killer. He takes a leap at her, and she instantly gets into the room beside her. Inside, she hides behind a bunch of cylinders. The guy enters, and with the axe in his hand, looks for her. While hiding, she accidentally makes a sound, and the killer gets alerted. He gradually moves towards her and scatters all the cylinders. Maya, in an instant, grabs a gas pipe and sprays at his face. She runs, goes downstairs, and gets herself into the morgue. There are a couple of bodies lying, and the other door is closed. She opens one of the fridges and shuts it instantly. She hears the killer coming. Soon enough, he enters, and Maya is nowhere. He checks both bodies, then goes towards the fridges. Maya is hiding in one of them, where the body of her fiancé lies. The killer opens all of them, one by one, and once he's closer to hers, she can clearly see him. However, before he opens the door, a cleaning guy appears. Before he runs, the stranger smashes his head with the axe. He falls dead, and the killer drags his body away. Maya sobs and caresses her lover's body. She gets out and eventually exits the place. It's raining outside. She is in the middle of the road. She runs where her eyes lead. The killer sees her from behind. She reaches a house and finds a car. However, the key isn't there. She finds a farm and heads there. The strangers have reached there already. She sees a bunch of keys hanging. Before she can pick any of them, a woman comes from behind, pointing a gun. She puts her hands up and requests that she call the police. The woman says that the sheriff can't do anything. She wonders why, but before the woman can answer, the stranger shoots an arrow at her and finishes her. Maya instantly runs for the gun, and the stranger runs, making her miss the shot. The guy with the axe is there as well. She shoots, but there are no more bullets. She runs again and gets into the stable. The stranger walks quietly in search of her. Maya is hidden with a pitchfork. The moment the stranger gets closer, she strikes at their leg. They shriek in pain as Maya runs. Maya runs into the bathroom, and with the one key she grabbed, happens to lock the door. The stranger shoves his axe on the door. Maya tries to open the window, but it doesn't work. The killer grabs her hair and bangs her head over the door. She somehow gets rid of his hold and finally manages to open the window. She runs through the woods and finds herself in the middle of the road, and a car is heading her way. It is the hospital nurse with a friend she says is an ex-military. They take her into the car and hand her a first aid kit to stop her abdomen bleeding. She's a little hesitant and panics horribly. She tries to open the door and instantly starts banging to let her out. They calm her down, saying she needs their help. Maya finally calms down, but she is unable to trust them. The car begins and the nurse starts the radio. It is a Christian prayer playing there. She wears the shoe that is laid in front of her. Soon, a couple of guys are seen at the road. The nurse gets out and they start chatting. It appears they know each other. The guys enter the car and both of them sit beside her. She starts to feel even more unsettled and notices a strange, smiley face tattoo on one of the guys. Soon, the military woman brings out a knife, but it is merely to cut an apple. She begins to see them as the masked strangers. With panic overflowing, she sees the knife lying nearby, rushes at it, and quickly jumps out of the car. She drops in the woods aside. They stop the car and call for her, but she keeps running. She hides behind a rock as they search for her with a flashlight. Having no sign, they leave. The dawn begins to break, and Maya reaches for a stream to drink some water. She then sees the condition of her wound, which is torn up and is bleeding. She brings out the medical kit. From inside, she finds the antiseptics and a needle. She uses them on her own to sew her wound, concealing her pain as much as possible. She walks away, and after a while, the killers arrive there and find her bandages lying there. Maya has found herself some woods to fire it. She warms herself up, but soon hears something coming. She gets alerted and runs. She finds a ruined car and gets inside it. Something bangs on the car and the window is broken. Suddenly, it's all quiet. But before she processes, the car is attacked again and the other window is broken. She peeks out of it to see what it is, but nothing catches her eye. The car starts to shake again. Something has been constantly banging it from behind. She is unable to open the door and thus keeps kicking on it constantly. It breaks and she runs out. It is a wild boar that attacked the car. It chases her and drags her through the ground. She tries to kick it, but it bites her leg. Maya then pretends to stay quiet while the boar sniffs her. After sniffing her whole body, it gets away. However, just when she is about to crawl out, the boar attacks her again. This time, it bites her leg even more severely. She kicks it off and is able to grab a fire log. She smashes its head over and over. It doesn't work. Then she grabs a knife from nearby and places it over her as the boar jumps on it and gets stabbed. It falls down before her. Frustrated, she stabs it constantly until it is completely finished. She begins to walk again. The strangers have come across the dead boar, and among them, Shelley remembers her childhood again, playing along with boars with her sweetheart. Then, her rival trips, and he instantly rushes to take care of her, which she certainly doesn't like. Meanwhile, Maya has trudged through the entire jungle to reach her house, which is sealed. She sees the broken door and has flashbacks of the previous night. She further enters and remembers her fiancé lying on the floor, injured. She recollects herself, drinks some water, has food, and grabs a knife. She wears her lover's hoodie, and just before heading out, she stumbles upon a guy. He introduces himself as Billy, working for the police. Seeing her situation, he takes her into his car, but just before he is about to get in, an arrow pierces through his head. They shoot another, and it strikes the front. She quickly takes the driver's seat and drives off as one of their arrows breaks the back window. She drives through the woods again, and the engine begins to malfunction. However, she manages to get to a house and bangs on their door. A guy comes out who is apparently one of the guys from the car she ran off. She wakes up in bed. She's inside a room, and she cannot see her knife anymore. She sees in the mirror that her wounds are taken care of. She gets out, and to her shock, she comes across the guy from the car. His name is Preacher, and he acts a bit intimidatingly towards her. She tries to get past him, but he stops her. The others barge in, and he leaves. She is still scared of them as they try to help her. They then return her phone, and she is relieved a bit. Meanwhile, an ambulance is headed to Maya's location and stops at a pump station. It is written pay inside. The owner instantly barges from under a car. He asks where he is headed, and listening to his answer, he gets a little intimidated, but returns soon. Maya settles into a room as her sister tells her that she has called an ambulance to her location. Suddenly, she sees that Preacher is there. He once again acts odd and asks her about her wounds. She notices his hand, along with a knife. She remembers that hand, and it matches a lot with the killer. He asks her about the experiences. She doesn't engage with him much, and he leaves, calling her a bitch. She instantly closes the door and blocks it. She looks for something in the room and finds his scissors. She peeks from the window and sees that the woman is driving Preacher out of the house. She texts her sister how far the ambulance is. Suddenly, she hears a thud on the door. She sends a text, but there is no connection again. She looks back, and it's one of the strangers again, trying to break in from the door. She runs to close it down. She manages to shut it, but one of them is already behind. As soon as she moves, her instinct works, and she stabs them with the scissors. She runs out and closes the door behind her. She sees from the washroom the ambulance is waiting outside. The door is being banged, but it slowly stops. She lays her ears and hears nothing. She opens the door and sees it empty. She then goes out of the room and comes downstairs. To her shock, she finds both women tied to chairs and is killed. One of the strangers is at the door. She doesn't notice her and gets out quietly. The ambulance is there, but the driver is lying dead on the porch. She runs and gets in, sees the driver is none other than a stranger. She instantly attacks her. Maya dodges the stabs and manages to get the knife off her hand. She fights back and pushes her back to the chair. She brings out the scissors and stabs her on the ears. The stranger kicks her away. She lies back, but the stranger is unable to move and soon falls quiet. Soon, the axe guy starts to break the window. She runs to the steering wheel. She starts the car, but behind her, the girl is still not finished and puts her in a chokehold. She manages to grab the seatbelt, locks herself in, and crashes the car. The ambulance falls sideways. She crawls out of there and sees the killer lying on the road. She slowly goes to open her mask, but soon the others come in with a car. She runs to the woods. The stranger goes out and removes her mask. It is Shelley. The man grieves for her and remembers their childhood. Once she is swinging in the park, she sees that very girl playing a game with her sweetheart and kisses him. She is furious, and that girl goes to play again. She opens the door and sees Shelley standing in front of her. She instantly beats her to death. Eventually, the guy comes and joins her. They both sit together with a murder weapon and takes it on his side. The authorities come running as they sit with a smiley face drawn over the blood. Film is to be continued. So, that was the recap for the 2025 movie The Strangers, Chapter 2. For more recaps like this, stay subscribed to the channel, and if you have liked this video, you may also like this.